All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakadash. The demo honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Israel's Taunt. Now, basically, I was watching this video right here. I'm gonna play a little bit of it because this is the fucking devil that's ruling over the world right now. All right. This is Arya, right? You should name right there. Shayal Ba, right? Subscribe, be edified. So here we go. You see that? Look at Esau. He's fucking it up. Anyway, let's get this video.
It's on, man.
When they had the big rebellion with Nat Turner, he was cannibalized after they killed him. They ate him. During a lot of lynchings, they would cook and barbecue people, and they would actually eat the people that they would lynch. So this was something that was a part of the white supremacist culture, consuming us literally.
Because they know you are what you eat. So if a white man eats you or eat me, he believes that he becomes us. And I know it's strange because I conquered them, but I'm going to devour what I've conquered.
And then is to put us alive on spits with a fire beneath it and turn us and roast us until we dehydrated.
Hey, listen, the scriptures talk about giving this devil double, right? And he's gonna get double. All right, ultimately, at the end of it, he's gonna get burned the hell up, right? Because this is what this devil deserves, nothing less, right? Obadiah 118 says what? It says, first of all, the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi in the future. So this is a future prophecy that's going to take place. So it's coming, right? The scriptures talk about the end, how it watches for thee, right? Now it's Esau's turn where the end is watching for him, right? We had our downfall. We discontinued from our heritage. We lost everything. We was put under the bases of men, right? The Edomites, the lowliest of people, right? So now it's Esau's turn. Obadiah 1:18, it says, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashmi shall have spoken it, right? So ultimately, these Edomites, right, the true-blooded Edomites, not those of us that are mingled and look like these devils, but the true Edomites of the Bible, which is so-called white man, will be destroyed by fire. A big-ass bonfire. So because of the things that he did, like this.
And they pick up pieces of the bodies, and hundreds of whites will be standing and taking pictures with a body piece in their hand. They have the pictures. They show the pictures in the book. And they say, just get over that?
Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing his word and fall into the earth. And shalom to you few sincere sisters out there as well. Brother Ariel coming at you with another lesson. And I just want to go into this real quick. The Delectable Negro. A very tough read, okay? But I'm here at the 5th chapter, and I wanted to, go into the book more in depth, but I couldn't because I couldn't get it here on the internet for free.
Right. I'm gonna let the brother go into a bit more, but I was thinking about a couple scriptures. Let me grab, because he obviously he showed no mercy. He was devil. Isaiah 47:6 says what? It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted my inheritance. Right? So, the Most High Yahweh was angry with the Israelites. It says, in giving them into thine hand, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidest, I shall be elated forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. So Esau was been thinking about what was going to come. And that's a complete ass whooping from the same people that he's been, destroying, because we're going to get new bodies, spiritual power, right? And Yahweh, Bashmi Yahweh is going to set up our kingdom. We're going to put these devils into servitude, right? And they're going to get double for the things that they've done to us. So double whatever they did, like, burning up. We're not going to eat them, nothing like that, of course, because we do have laws. Hey, but Lord willing, we're able to, do our pleasure to these devils and get them back what they did to us. Ultimately they're going to be destroyed. Let me grab this other one. This is James 2. And it's just crazy. This is the devil that's ruling over us, right? Let me see. I'm gonna just get it, but this is, basically going into what, our people. But hey, the wicked is gonna get this too. It says James 2:13, for he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So hey, these devils got something coming for them.
I ain't paying for it. I got the book already, but I'd rather you see the words that I'm reading. So I got this chapter here, or a piece of a chapter, and see it says here, eating Nat Turner. And that's what these devils did after they, lynched him and humiliated him and cut him up. And, they burnt, they burnt the fats of his body, pretty much boiled the fats of his body and kept them in mason jars in their houses. And they believed that it would bring them some type of powers or what have you. You know how these.
Right, and this is the things that Trump is now trying to hide and cover up in his museum, so his little children, won't grow up fucking tormented, and upset about what's happening. But that's exactly what's going to happen. And plus on top of that, we're at the end. Everyone, all these heathen, all of them, they're all going into slavery, under us.
Devils think, okay, and this is I'll read this real quick. Now, if I expand it, it won't allow me to upload it, so I have to read it like this, and my eyes is horrible, but I'll do my best. And it says, most people do not readily associate Nat Turner, the heroic figure and slave insurrectionist, with the themes of auto cannibalism and self-consumption, and white male consumptive desires, or homoeroticism. These themes, however, strongly inform how Southampton, Virginia whites punished Turner and treated his corpse after his public lynching. In the 19th century, the white press throughout the country reported that Turner had sold his body for dissection and spent the money on ginger cakes. And many papers reported that Turner feasted on these sweet ginger cakes before his own execution. This was an erroneous assertion, as slaves did not own themselves and therefore had no agency to barter and trade in their own flesh. More than anything, this ginger cake story reflected the psychology of whites who needed to convince themselves that black men such as Turner somehow consented to and were complicit in their social consumption. This linking of consent to black self-consumption was a common idea that found its way into lynching rituals practices in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And peep this here. In 1934, whites made Claude Neal, whom they lynched in Jackson County, Florida, eat his cut off penis and testicles. James McGovern related the details of the Neal lynching and Anatomy of a Lynching, which is another book, after taking the nigger to the woods about 4 miles from Greenwood. They cut off his penis. He was made to eat it. Then they cut off his testicles and made him eat them and say he liked it.
Okay, so this is the mindset of these devils. These it benefited them in some way, shape, or form for him to eat his body parts and then him tell them that he liked it. Whatever whatever's going on in that, the brain of them is not right. Habakkuk 2:14, it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him." This is talking about the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, right? The ones that's currently ruling the world and controlling shit, right? And that's why you have things like adultery illegal in New York. You have these Epstein's lists, right? PDF files running around rampant, just killings, the eating of the blood, the drinking of all of that. It's all been talked about. And these are things that they did in slavery, right? And they got books on it. So now all of a sudden, what they stopped drinking blood and eating bodies and stuff? No, the hell they still doing this? The wicked. They they're not wired properly, bro. They're the wicked. All they do is destroy. And this is also shameful stealing on them. Because they own people is like, figuring out like, yo, the top elite, because these lower level devils don't have the ability and power to do that. And pretty much they do want to do that. I feel like that's why they got games like Call of Duty and things like that to appease the mind of these devils, a little bit. The scriptures say clearly, that's how they operate, that's how they do, that's how they go down. Isaiah 10, it says, Isaiah 10:5, it says, "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither do his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few." That's the mind of these devils, right? Just complete wickedness, and they're just a tool, right? And this tool is like, thinking that he's doing something when he's not. He's destroying the planet Earth, shameful spin on it, right? Habakkuk 2:15, it says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth diabolical on him and make him drunk also." Yeah, and that's Esau giving people the ability to go in there and rob their stores, right? And make Jake the face of these things. Just different things that they do, that they can now point the finger, and try to put the blame on someone else. But it was Esau that set these things up, like all the guns. Bro, obviously Jake ain't making no guns. Jake ain't making no drugs. Jake ain't got that power. They got all these things, the Palantria, the military might, the Coast Guard, and all this stuff. But somehow all of it is here. All the wickedness is here. They can't. This place is completely wicked. But it's so great. Oh, we're America, the money, blah blah blah. But it's completely wicked. It's destroying people, right? People, hey, they're allowed to change their body, get sex changes and all of this, then they come crying and shit. No one cares about it. It's too late, Esau gave you liberty to do what you want to do, and now you're fucked. And that's just, hey, that's where we at. The scriptures say, "Arise, ye depart, is not your rest." This place, it will destroy you. It says, Habakkuk 2:15, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth diabolical to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. It says, Thou art filled with shameful glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned up to thee, and shameful name shall be on thy glory." Right, so these other nations is realizing what these devils is about. The PDF files, tunnels up under Israel, and all this extra shit they got going on. That's why the dude, Venezuela, they was like, I guess they were 50 million for the Epstein list, and now all of a sudden Trump over there trying to rah and all of that. So it's crazy. Daniel 4:17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it." Sorry, it says, "And giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men." Yes, that's the wicked, right? Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen, right? Because we're the salt of earth, right? Israelites. But first and foremost, the basis of men is Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom. All right, Isaiah 14. Israel's taunt. Now, what I thought about is verse 16, because this devil's gonna look so messed up in the kingdom, right? So, but we're gonna read it from the top. I'm gonna get in my Bible. I got some precepts written, to probably, get some edification. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Right. So this is what both tribes coming back. Pursuant to Ezekiel 37, that's what's taking place now. The Great Awakening. Right. Both tribes coming back together. That's what this verse is talking about. So 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Right. So currently, obviously, these devils are oppressing us, and we're going to take them. Psalm 147. I'm just going for you. It says, I'm slide here. Where's that? 149? Yeah. All right. This is Psalm 149 and 5. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand." It says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings. Right. So that goes to what I was talking about earlier about how you have these higher ups, right, that's able to drink the blood, and have tunnels and all this extra stuff. And their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. And Lord willing, I'm gonna be hopeful elect. So I can be right there, day one, beating this devil's ass. All right. So 3 says, "And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve." So we're in that hard bondage, right? And it's pretty much almost at the end, right? Because the scriptures tell us clearly that, in Jacob's trouble, he shall be saved out of it. Who's the elect, right? And we're willing, I'm of that number, and then, we should be joyful and be married. Isaiah what? Is it Isaiah? Let me see. It was Isaiah 65. Get it real quick. Yeah, right. Isaiah 65 and 14. Just one point. It says, "Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow for heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit." Right. So the servants of the Lord Yahweh will be good, in that time, in those days. 4 says, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4, "that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered." Right. So no one's going to save this devil. No one's stopping, going to stop the destruction when it comes upon him. It said the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. It says, "Yeah, the fir trees rejoiced at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us." It says, "Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth have raised up from their thrones, all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" Right. So this devil is in a weakened state, right? Because he's at his end. All right. Verse 11 says, "Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vowel, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. It says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Right. And it's prophesied, that this devil is going down. Babylon the Great will fall. It's written all over the scriptures. Isaiah 47, it says, lament for Babylon. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right. So all the pseudoscience and lies that the devil, pushed out to the world is all felony. Verse 13 says, for thou, Isaiah 14:13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Scriptures talk about this devil being put into a pit and being visited after many days, right? Because, like a filthy rag or something. Grab Obadiah or Malachi. Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh, by Shemiah Shah to Israel by Malachi. I have loved thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. It says, whereas Edom said, the so-called white man, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah shall hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. That's who's ruling, the border of wickedness. Right? As you can see, they're not wired right in the head. All right. It says, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah shall have indignation forever. So verse 16, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? Yeah, because this devil is going to be in the lowest state of all once you get into these chains and put into this bondage, right? That he's about to serve for 1,000 years, and after that 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, he's going to be burnt up. Pursuant to Obadiah 1:18, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? Yeah, this man building more prisons right now. Detention centers, concentration camps, still trying to fill them up. It says all the nations, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden underfoot, right? No burial. It says, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. So no respect, for this devil, no nothing, just dead. That's it. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, which they are their children, coming back now. It says that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So, these devils inhabiting anything, controlling anything is not good for no one. It says, for I will rise up against them, said the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah shall host, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, said the Lord Yahweh. I will also make it a possession for the Britain and pools of water, and will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, said the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah shall, the bosom of destruction. Let me get Nathan. Let me see. Oh, I know what I need. Malachi 4:1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly, who's the most proud? Esau, shall be stubbled. right? So yeah, 2/3 of our people, of course, in their proudness, right, not trying to hearken to the Lord, will be destroyed. But Esau last too, in America, it said, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord Yahweh by Shema shall host, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Yeah. So nuclear missiles will be shot here in Babylon the Great. You see, I got a picture for this over here. Oh no. All right, so let's find something in Jeremiah 50 down here at the bottom. Matter of fact, I'll start right here. It says Jeremiah 51. It says the word that the Lord Yahweh Basham shall speak against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by the Jeremiah prophet. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Right? Hey, cry aloud, spare not. Isaiah 51, right? It says Babylon is taken, but is confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her image is broken in pieces. So America and all the idols and everything burnt up, broken in pieces. Right? This is written, it has already taken place, right? The prophets of old have seen visions of this place being destroyed. Let me see 51 maybe. All right, so this is good. Jeremiah 49:7. It says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring to Israel, said the Lord Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell there. It's talking about what? America, Babylon the Great. So all right, so hey, Lord willing, we edify from our lesson. Shalom to those for elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.